second session. I take this opportunity to introduce respected Dr. Bhushan Pimple sir, our today's second session speaker. Sir is working as Associate Professor and Head of Department of Pharmacognosy at Progressive Education Society's Modern College of Pharmacy, Nigdi, Pune. Sir has more than 15 years of teaching experience. He has handled 3 minor research projects costing 6.1 lakh. Sir has also offered consultancy to more than 20 funded projects. He has also published 7 international research articles and 6 book chapters in Elsewhere, Springer in his credit. Sir has delivered expert lectures at various national and international conferences. Sir has worked as an associate editor for the International Journal of Pharmacognosy and Chinese Medicine by Medwin Publishers, USA, and current ranks in pharmacy and pharmaceutical chemistry. Sir has been invited as a reviewer for various international research journals from publication houses like Taylor and Francis, Elsewhere, Bentham Sciences, and Springer. Sir has worked as a member of the National Advisory Committee of the 4th International Conference on Holistic Medicine. Sir has been invited as a resource person for the various online expert sessions. With this brief introduction, now I invite Dr. Bhushan Pimple sir to enlighten us on the topic animation for effective content delivery. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Hello. Hello, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes. You are audible?
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, madam, for your brief introduction about me. Thanks a lot for that. I also thank our principal, Dr. P.D. Chaudhary, sir, and the coordinator of this wonderful AICT sponsored STTP, Dr. Chopade, sir, for providing me an opportunity to express my views at this national level. Thanks a lot, guys. Friends, I have chosen this title, that is Animation for Effective Content Delivery, as the title for my topic. And the reason for this is because most of the time I have experienced that when the teacher joins in this profession, he is new to the profession, so he collects the material, understands the concepts, and delivers generally either once or twice during the revision. Over the period, he attains mastery over the topic or subject for that matter, and he feels that he can teach better than the previous years. Most of the time it is true as well, but many a times it is seen that quality of the students is declining day by day. Also, the number of slow learners is increasing, and to deal with that, this mastered teacher who is expert in his domain is lacking the sheen of delivering the content, and the reason for that is not the teacher but the crowd. Therefore, I feel that the teacher should redevelop himself. Even see, friends, we have seen gold, it lacks its sheen over the period of time. It requires polishing periodically. Similarly, even a teacher requires redeveloping his skill or the content, or he needs to upgrade the pedagogy. Therefore, we will start with the session like animation. Now, before that, I would like to see why animation. Why should one go for animation? We all have witnessed such kind of pictures in our homes or surroundings. Just think, is the teacher inexperienced? Is the content a rocket science to the students? No. The same chalk and talk method we all have seen. the same simple PPTs with loads of paragraph on it. We have learned through that and we have gained knowledge through them. But the same method, that is chalk and board or simple PPT, has become a rote method for students of these millennial generation, because these students are past students and they need everything at ease. So what is lacking? It is the attractiveness in the content. Our brain, the researchers have even proven that our brain turns into a non-receptive mode if we listen or observe things that are monotonous for more than 10 to 15 minutes. Just imagine the quality of Corona. We are fed up with that, and it is a monotonous tone. Even the government advertises various advertises or schemes by the government. These are totally monotonous advertisings, and these are boring advertisements. But if you involve pictograms, motions, or graphics, representations in the in your PPT, this will be a good solution to deal with this kind of monotony. Friends, famous illustrator and caricaturist Fred Bernard said, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." And why not? It is true. We will have a look with a simple example. Just take this example. This is a text description, a geometric figure with 5 equal sides and 5 angles with a red color. Now, slow learners as well as mediocre students won't be able to get to this image that effectively just from the text. But what if we accompany this text description with a graphic description? Now, even the slow learner will be able to capture this text and retain the knowledge throughout the life, or at least for a longer duration. So this is the impact of graphic descriptions. So graphic description can be taken along with the text description, or you can use it singly. We'll just take another example. We all have seen or read a lot about antioxidants, the mechanism of action of antioxidants. There are paragraphs, and if you want to explain the mechanism of action to the students, new students who is unaware about antioxidant, then it becomes very difficult. Most of them will not be able to get it in a single stance. So now just have a look at this image. I got it from net. It is designed by Dr. Nishchal, and this is very wonderful image wherein we can see this is a free radical which is short of an electron. Just a second. This free radical is short of an electron and it is trying to snatch the electron from a healthy atom. And what is an antioxidant? It is having an extra electron which it is trying to share it with the free radical and preventing the damage of this healthy atom. This single graphic is able to explain the entire paragraph what we have studied. Likewise, this is what the impact of animation or 2D animation. Simple. There is no need for you to go with the 3D animations. Now we'll see why we should go for animation, or what is the need for animation. Animation can help explain most intricate concepts and theories that cannot be filmed, such as tablet dissolution or drug extraction. Tablet dissolution means the micro level at what happens within the tablet, or what happens surrounding the tablet, or even during the course of extraction, what happens with to the drug particle. How does the solvent extracts the phytoconstituent from the particle? You cannot film this. Same is the case with anatomical components. You cannot film anatomical components or even physiological details. Even the mechanism of reactions, these are understood well, but cannot be filmed or cannot be photographed. And same is the case with the very fast processes like crystallization, precipitation, or centrifugation, or sometimes these are extremely slow processes. They require 1 or 2 days or sometimes hours. And to film them and show the video, it becomes very, very difficult. But in this case, animation helps a lot. Science and research, as well as certain reviews in various dimensions or faculties, have proven that this animation increases the cognition as well as helps boost the learner. It increases the retention rate of the learners as well. Now, what is the retention rate? Knowledge retention rate. We are explaining theory, procedures, and references during our practicals. And the retention rate of this is 30 to 50% normally. It has been observed. Now, why I'm saying this is because even though we are providing the material, procedure, sometimes we are even demonstrating the practical. But you all will agree with me that when the same student appears for Viva, he is answerless. He is unable to answer most of our questions. Reason is knowledge retention rate. It is close to 30 to 50%. But if we accompany with animation, it increases to 65 to 70%. Further, if you accompany it with video demonstrations and assignments, it keeps on increasing. So this is what is required. The collective or blend of the normal traditional teaching along with certain animations, videos, and assignments in order to help the students store the data in a structured manner, because he is able to, or he is listening to at least 3 lectures in a day. So there is quite a confusion in his head. No, I'm not talking about the fast learners or advanced learners, but mediocre students, or sometimes some students are absent. In that case, it becomes very confusing for him to understand and store the information. But what if the data is stored in a proper structured manner? He is able to recall it similarly. Friends, as I am lucky and fortunate to have the lecture of Dr. Dias sir, because he has paved laid a very good platform for me, and he has explained the importance of advanced tools and techniques in pedagogy. And the reason for that is he has also discussed about certain 3D lab development and all. And the reason for that is this animation, or the solution for that is this animation. A plain farmer graduate student or teacher will be able to perform animation, at least 2D animation, with the help of normal PowerPoint presentation. Believe me, simple PowerPoint presentation is sufficient for us to have or explain each and every minute details of pharmacy. And what Dr. Dias sir was talking about was of Amruta University or certain IITs. They have developed excellent virtual labs, but they have taken the help of coding team. They have a proper programmers or coders for that. And even they have been funded with, if you go to the site, you will notice that they have been funded with Ministry of Human Resource Development or some funding agencies. And a mere pharma teacher will be lacking this. He will not be having the knowledge of, or he will not be having the friends related to programming languages or programmers. He might be facing problems in fetching the grants, especially to develop the animation contents. Similarly, he is not even thorough with most of the computer languages like .NET, Java, and C++. And these are very, very important to have some base about the animations. So forget it. We are not at all interested in these things. Even there is no need for us to be dependent upon somebody for sharing the information and explaining to the IT engineer that what exactly you want out of it. There is no need. A simple PowerPoint will help a lot. We'll see how. Here, I will just swiftly pass through the basics of animations as time is short. We are short of time, so we will have a look at the basics of animation. What you all have done, used these animations throughout your presentations, but the same animations can be used for expressing or teaching, like the contents or the concepts. But make sure you need to have a stepwise plan for your experiment or delivery of the content. Detail minutes of the experiments are to be taken care of, like even the porcelain pieces, switching off or switching on of a button or a burner. Everything, minute details need to be jotted down properly. Secondly, we should be aware about these tabs, like the insert tab in the ribbon, which has shapes, or sometimes you can take the screenshots or text box. You can draw the text box. You all are aware about it. Then even you should be able to draw the images or draw the pictures like circle, square, triangle. These are sufficient. Then even home tab, you should be aware about this ribbons. These, you are aware about these ribbons like home tab, insert and all. Then animation tab, I am sure most of you might have used these animations like add animation or order the anime, reorder the animation in the animation pane and all. Check the order, timing and size of the animation. And lastly, just you will have to have the IPQC, like the parameter, like format ribbon, to change the shape or color, alignment and etc. This is all what you need to know. And most of you are aware about this. See, I have taken the image of this ribbon, that is animation ribbon, and here I have drawn with the help of this insert shapes. I have taken few shapes, like so suppose a circle I have taken from here. You can see the circle. Then this is the top entry point for the RBF. Then similarly, I have drawn an isosceles triangle. This is the isosceles triangle what I have used here. And similarly, this the top of the RBF is elongated in order to create a test tube. This is what I have done here. Okay? And you can even get the GIF or sometimes PNG format of images from Google, like I have taken the image of dropper. Now, we will be using the simplest way of animation, that is wipe animation. Wipe animation means just go through the animation, and in the first line, green colored, you will notice the star, that is wipe animation. Here, using this along with this upward arrow will help us in filling the materials. Like for example, this is what you can fill the dropper. Just a second, I will have to look at the. Okay, yes. You need to fill the dropper. You can use the same shapes. See, I have purposely taken this isosceles triangle out of this pipette-like material, and similarly, the contents of the test tube, the same structure, and even the RBF. Here, we will have a look at it again, how it gets filled. This is the way how you can fill a component. It can be a burette, test tube, beaker, anything. You just need to draw the same. Likewise, another way is to, once you have filled in, you need to take it out as well. So the second step is by using the animation pane, and in this case, use the red colored. Red color indicates disappearance. It moves out, it vanishes. So again, wipe animation, but this time, make sure you are taking the lower arrow, effect option, lower arrow. Just check. Again, here I have taken the isosceles triangle purposely out of the pipette. You can empty the dropper, you can empty the pipette here. And what about this? You can even fill with the measuring cylinder. The measuring cylinder can be drawn with the cylindrical shape, and then you can use the same cylinder and insert it between the the sides of the cylinder and give it a different color like gray or somewhat, so that it represents water or in liquid and a drop. Now wipe animation has been applied to all the three, and you can use them in this way to pour something or take something out of the pipette or the glasswares. Now we will be having a look at the details as to only these three pure animations we can use for chromatography, microscopy, chemical test, or even for extraction, isolation, and assays. Everywhere we can make use of such kind of animation with a slight modifications in it. Like the first application is in chromatography, wherein just assume you need to teach chromatography to a new student who is totally unaware about the chromatographic basics of chromatography. Then what you can do is just take a rectangle from the shapes and explain what is the size and or the dimensions of the plate. This is for TLC spotting, and I have used the same isosceles triangle as a capillary here, and here you can use this capillary to spot the components. This is the first spot normally for a reference standard. Then the second spot, same, you can just duplicate it and you can stretch the path only up to the sample so that both can be applied here. There is no rocket science in this, just a simple isosceles triangle. And to this isosceles triangle, we have applied a new kind of animation, which you can get it from this animation tab. In the lower area, you can find here the motion path. I will just zoom it. Yes, more motion paths. Through this more motion paths, you can find this diagonal down right, this kind of animation, and you can just check once or twice and you will be thorough with it. I will again repeat just for 1 second. Yes, you can apply only that particular animation and this spotting is completed. So your students will be able to identify how the spotting is to be carried out, where it has to be carried out, where it has to be spotted. Then the next, development of TLC chamber. Even this is very simple. Just draw the chamber and insert the same TLC plate, copy paste it, and you need to develop it. See the development. The gray color is a rectangle and it is showing wipe animation. I'll just repeat once. Just look at the gray color. Gray color is a rectangle which I have shaded in gray. The wipe animation has been given to it, and the dotted line indicates here the solvent front. So with this animation, the illusion of the spots can be explained properly. Even you can show that the standard what you have used was a clear, and this is the marker component from your phytoconstituent or an extract or a mixture. Now for this, again, what all I have used here is animation, in that wipe animation, followed by, now in this case, I have used two different animation components. Now, when you want to apply two different animations in tandem, you need to use first animation followed by the second one. That means first the wipe animation, then wipe up, then click on this, that is add animation. To this add animation, again, you can go and click this disappear, because the gray color rectangle what was observed here should vanish off, because we need to evaporate the solvent as well. So this is what is required. Now next is visualization. Just the same plate with a different background serves the purpose. Same plate with a slight modification in the component. You can even show to your students that it shows a different spot at different UV lights. So this helps us to explain The TLC. Yes, if you just have a look at this TLC, the students can get the knowledge within 5 to 10 minutes about what is TLC, how it is to be developed, and what are the different observations or eluting ways, or the way how it is to be developed. The next application is about in microscopy. Since I belong to pharmacognosy, I have taken such kind of examples, but you can implement the same examples in your domain as well. Microscopy of a particular drug. Just a second, I will mute all. Just look at the chats. Microscopy of ephedra stem here. Now, this is an ephedra stem, and this is the blade. You can get this kind of image from the net, and you can just slide the blade and get the sections out of it. Either you can make it horizontally, or you can use the stem vertically and pass on the blade in this way, zigzag manner, in order to get the sections. The cutting can be shown properly. Now here, what I have done is used in animations. I have again moved to the same path, that is more motion, and use diagonal downside. With the help of this, you can achieve this kind of animation and explain how exactly P.E.S can be taken up. And in case of the blade, whenever any image you have taken, it is vertically facing, or it is in a two-dimensional format, you can rotate it with the help of this picture effects, 3D rotation. You can choose any of these to have a 3D image out of the same image can be converted into 3D. Now, what if you want to explain the diagram? Just have a look at a diagram which has multiple components in it. It can even be a map of a particular zone wherein you want to highlight or emphasize something. You can use arrows or any particular shape from the shape pane and just apply the animations like blink. I will show how it is useful in it. See, these are the non-vascular bundles. Then even you can use this kind of a shape to highlight a particular zone. Then the palisade-like cells. Then the peripheral bundles, and then the xylem. This I have used with the different shapes. Now, how this can be affected is with the help of animation. First, choose the appear. Appear means the arrow will first appear. Initially, it will be a blank image or a plain image, and on that you can just place an arrow, and then on the click it should appear. Now, once it has appeared, again click on the add animation tube and add animation link. That means we need to add one more animation to the same arrow. In that case, again, go to this more emphasis effects. In more emphasis effects, you can click on this blink state and OK. So now you can get the same arrows. I will show it once more. Yes. This is a triangle, which the first animation was appear and the second animation was blink. And if there are multiple components, you need to apply the third animation as well, that is called as disappear. So appear, blink, and disappear in tandem will help you to explain the image more properly compared to normal cursors. The next, if you want to highlight a particular thing into a TS, especially in pharmacognosy or most of the time in geography or other areas wherein there are multiple sets or components in it, you need to explain the details in it, each and every details in it. For that, even for physiology or anatomy, wherein there are multiple labels for a single diagram, it becomes difficult for a teacher to focus on a particular thing. Then you can make use of this kind of animation, which is called as a trigger animation. Now in trigger animation, you need to have the diagram, and sidewise you need to place the labels. Like I will show you once. Now this is the epidermis region, which I have colored in yellow color, yellow line. So if you want to show epidermis of this particular diagram, you can just click on the epidermis and it will zoom in. It will zoom in on clicking, and again it will go back to its original state. Have a look at the oil glands. Only the oil glands will be zoomed. Same is the case with parenchyma. A particular parenchyma only will be zoomed in. Whereas after zooming in, it will again go back to its original state. Now, how this can be effected? You can click. There is no hyperlink in this. You need to use the trigger animation. Just see. Choose whichever, all the components of the picture or the diagram should be separate in this case. Now it cannot be a group. If you want, you can group a particular zone, like I have done for this parenchyma. A zone of parenchyma can be grouped, but all the cells should not be grouped. Okay? Now then, the grow and shrink animation will show the growth, and if you click upon the details of animation pane, you will notice that there is this kind of yellow color button here. Just right click on it and you will find effect options. In this effect option, if you click on this effect option, you will notice the presence of this kind of a window, or this kind of window will pop out. And here you need to maintain this kind of things like start, on, click. Duration, you can choose any of the duration from the drop down menu, and do not repeat it. Just make sure that you are clicking on this rewind when done playing. Rewind means only if you click here, the zoomed in part will again zoom out and go to its original state only after clicking to this particular checkbox. Now the next and the last part in this is trigger. Trigger means the label, on clicking the label, a particular part will zoom in. So which is the label you need to mention or tell to the PowerPoint, and this can be done by this trigger button. Just click on the trigger and you can see start effect on the click off. If you click here, you will find the numerous drop down menu. In the drop down menu, you can find columella, parenchyma, all the other labels. You need to choose a particular label. Like if you click epidermis, this particular portion should zoom in. Like you can read here, or I will zoom in. Trigger animation text box for epidermis. It shows the animation of only epidermis. Same can be done for coloring a particular part or showing. If you are finding it difficult, the zoom in animation, you can use this kind of a very simple animation, again based upon trigger animation. Here what we can do is stain a particular component or color a particular component. In this, we need to use the same shapes. The same shapes are to be taken, grouped, and a duplicate group of the same shape should be used. And that group, to that duplicate group, you need to add a new color and overlap on this original color. I will show. Just if you click this Sudan red dye, it will show the stain to the oil as well as the epidermis. So how is it possible is because we have created a new group of epidermis and new group of these cells, and we have been hiding it, and we have applied appear animation to this new group. Therefore it appeared. Again, if you click it, it should disappear. So by this way, even you can explain, or you can align the focus of all the students to a particular zone, wherever you want to explain. Now, for your convenience, I have disturbed the alignment of the another group, that is this. Originally, this was to be overlapped over this white color zone, but I have specifically disaligned it. See, this is the yellow color, or which has to be superimposed upon it, then it shows a proper color. But for your understanding, I have separated it. So this is the way how you can click it, and it goes off. If you click, it again reappears. So again, by the way of this animation, you can explain the staining method, or even you can explain to various other methods in your domain. Here, just make sure the trigger animation has to be applied twice, one for appearance of a group and then next for disappearance of the same group. Because once this is there, it should go off so that it becomes easier for you to explain a particular zone. Next, application in preliminary phytochemical testing. I will take a very simple test, which is commonly performed in pharmacy, that is test for carbohydrates. Herein, you need to take a test tube. Now, I expect that most of you might be aware how this test tube drawing can be done. And take this trigger animation. And now here, just click on the sample solution. If you want to add the sample solution, click on here and your dropper or the pipette gets filled in and it inserts the sample solution. The next step is to add this alpha naphthol solution. If you click it here, again, it keeps on pouring the alpha naphthol. You can do this for n number of assays and tests. Then lastly, if you add concentrated H2SO4, then it should show a violet to purple coloring carbohydrate present. So our students are busy with numerous tests. I think there are more than 150 tests in pharmacy which the students have to by heart or have to go through. And it becomes really difficult to understand the concepts or understand or remember the test. But if the students are able to understand with the help of animation, I think at least more than the traditional method, he will be able to grasp it. For this, again, what I have done is the text box which was of alpha naphthol, to that appear animation was given. Then to the test tube, or sorry, to the pipette, the trapezoid animation, that means that the liquid that gets filled in, then the arc animation, that is motion. The pipette should come from here to here. Okay? For that, you need to have a motion animation, then it should disappear. The trapezoid, that means which is filling it, to that I have added wipe animation, disappearance. Then flowchart, that means this is the material that is getting filled in into the component. Just a second. This is how you can make use of animation, simple animations in explaining most of the pharma concepts. One or two more, and then this is about extraction and insoxlate. This you can achieve only after 1 or at least 2 to 3 days of training with the basics animation. You will be able to design such kind of components or this kind of glasswares on your PPT, and you can make use of this. See, RBF to this, but for that, again, you need to have the minute details of each and every component, like porcelain pieces and all. Then the Soxlate body comes in place. Then the thimble, which is of made up of either paper or cloth. To this, the crude drug powder is to be added, then should be placed. And with the help of measuring cylinder, you can add the solvent, desired solvent here. Then place the Allen's condenser and pass on the cold and hot water. Now just have a look at the heating mantle. Again, here with the click, it should rotate the knob and should show the heating. And once heating is continued, the solvent gets heated and the vapors come from here. They get condensed and get filled into the thimble. Keep on extracting this. With the help of the simple animation, wipe animation and motions, you can do all these things. See, the green color indicates the first crop, we can say, the dark colored extract. Again, the same wipe animation. The second crop or second siphon, we say. This can follow, so that the students are able to understand exactly when this oxalate needs to be stopped, especially for colorful compounds. The color needs to be changed. It should be faded out, and the same animation is to be repeated. Duplications of the same animation can be carried out with the change in the color or lightening the color. And lastly, here it is the colorless liquid. This indicates the completion, at least for colorful components are concerned. So likewise, there are few more, like I will not waste much of your time in this. It is very similar, that is isolation of volatile oil. I will wind up this now. Applications in isolation. Yes, this is very important, especially for explaining the principles of any complex reaction or mechanism of reaction. For this, suppose this is clav oil and aqueous QH. What happens exactly is eugenol forms a bond with potassium to form potassium eugenate. The eugenol from this side of the reactant along with potassium migrates into and forms the potassium eugenate. So this is a very simple concept, but the students are unable to get it. The next, this potassium eugenate, upon addition of H2SO4, it frees the potassium. Potassium forms a bond with sulfate, and eugenate gets converted to eugenol. This is what the second step appears to be. The next, this eugenol, since it is immiscible with potassium aqueous solution, it is unstable or it is immiscible in this, so it can be extracted with the help of a non-polar solvent like diethyl ether, and this eugenol will now pass on into the diethyl ether layer. Now what next is to just evaporate the diethyl ether layer. The diethyl ether upon evaporation gives out eugenol. This is the very simple way of explaining most intricate concepts of pharmacy, and it can be very well affected by the way of simple motion animation, or you can say appear, disappear animation. Then applications in case of assays, generally for antioxidant assays, it is a bouncer for most of the students. So I will just swiftly go through this again. There, what are different reagents you need to use? The sample solution, sample here, and the standard solution, the control. Then sodium nitroprusside, then grease reagent, then phosphate buffer in the blank solution, blank test tube, and then incubate it. Upon incubation, it gives out the nitrous oxide. Then with this, the oxygen from the air comes in. But if your test tubes have antioxidants, they are able to kick off the oxygens and decrease the color in the test tube. Antioxidants decrease the color. And if you read the absorbance at 546, you can notice that the decrease in the color. That means what is the role of antioxidants? They are decreasing the absorbance, especially for this particular assay, that is nitrous oxide. Because here in pharmacy, we have numerous absorbances and students are unaware. Really, what happens is it is a very simple concept with students that every time the absorbance will keep on increasing, but not. Most of the times it is reverse. So this can be explained with the simple motion rates. Now, yes, this is also very simple. With the help of a wipe and the line, you can notice that the drop is falling, or sometimes if you want to explain the boiling conditions in an RBF, you can make use of it. Then even if you want to explain the simple tests, a very, very simple test, even in that case, calcium sulfate from calcium oxalate, and it forms needle shaped crystals. This is how you can do this. Then Now, this was all about animation. Now, once you are done with the animation, what to do with that animation? You can directly convert it into various formats. You can either embed your voice upon the slides and you can record the presentation. I am using 2016 version of PowerPoint. Herein, in the slideshow mode, you can record the slideshow and insert your voice into this. But if you are using the previous versions, in that case, you can go to insert and just insert your audio. And in this, you can find a record audio. Your voice, whatever is recorded to that particular slide, will stick. The voice will stick and it will appear as a logo in the lower right corner. Now, once you have finished recording on each of the slides, what you can do is save it. Save it, but during saving, make sure that you are using save as. You have to use save as. In save as, you can go to drop down menu, and in PowerPoint, instead of saving it as a PowerPoint, no doubt you can save it as a PowerPoint, but another file, if you want to make it a video, and as is in this case, you can save it in the form of MPEG-4 video. So if you click on this, the MPEG-4 video gets stored. But remember, this takes some time, at least 30 to 40 minutes. If you have a bunch of at least 5 to 10 slides, it will take 30 to 40 minutes to convert PowerPoint into video format. Besides, you can even save it in other various formats like PowerPoint picture presentation or PowerPoint show. This PowerPoint show is also very handy for students for at least last minute revision. Most of the time students, generally, it is my observation that students learn only on the last days or 11th hour. So this kind of PowerPoint animation or PowerPoint shows will be very handy for them to revise. Like I have given a simple video, I have prepared the video of the TLC, what we have done earlier, and sorry for this. This is the video. Now just have a look at this video. So this is how you can use the same small videos for explaining into your PowerPoint presentation. Now, what if you want to convert your PowerPoint into an animated GIF, graphic interchangeable format? Remember, this is not possible even in 2019 version of PowerPoint. You have to use MS365, which is 1 year and it is a bit costlier. So you can do, you have an alternative with the current PowerPoint method. How you can do this is, I will show you with the same slide as I'm sharing. I hope, yes, I'm sharing the screen, it's okay. So how you can affect this kind of animation is, you can use the arc, or we will just have a look at this slide entirely first, and then I will explain. All these animations, especially for suitings for dissolution purpose, as I have said that in earlier slides, it is very difficult for you to record the dissolutions and all. So you can prepare a tablet with the help of a circle and just give a 3D effect to it, but do not draw a circle, just draw an arc or semicircle, and copy paste the same semicircle and just flip it over. The two semicircles will have a gap if you give a 3D effect to it. Then in this way, the tablet dissolution can occur. I'm not an expert in that domain. You can check or you can change the kind of animations in this case. Then in case of pharmacology, you can use this adrenaline to show the effect on the heart. It increases the heart rate. And In case of propranolol, it lowers the heart rate. So this is the way how you can explain each and every physiology in detail. Then boiling or heating can be explained with this help. Now, I would like to give you a simple demonstration as to how these animations can be converted into GIF format, which is very, very handy and sturdy, and it is portable. You can use it anywhere. That kind of thing, we will just have a look. For that, we need to take one more PowerPoint. I will just open another PowerPoint. Okay. So this is a new PowerPoint slide, and in this, I have taken this as the dropper, and in this dropper, I have filled in the liquid, which is again a shape, and now this dropper is sucking in the liquid and moving it out of the this like this. It is sucking it and it is pouring it. Now, if you find this very difficult for animation, then in that case, you can convert it into GIF and use it n number of times you want. So how you can do this is by again converting this particular slide into a video format. I will show you a demonstration. Just save as and to desktop. I will take this as a destination folder. And instead of PowerPoint, you just click on this MPEG4 video. Once you save it as an MPEG4 video, as I said, it will take a time, at least here in this case, 10-15 seconds it will take, or depending upon the number of applications you have opened upon your PC, it may take 1 minute or so. So we need to be patient up to that. Yes, it is getting saved. Meanwhile, you can drop in your comments. Yes, it has been converted into videos. Yes, we will just have a look. This is the video, what we have got. Sorry. The video. This is the video. We have sucked in the liquid and poured in there. So we want to convert now this video into a GIF. For this, we need to open Google, and in Google, just click EZGIF. EZGIF, this is a site wherein you can convert video to GIF. Even you can convert various pictures into GIF. So here we will be loading our video. Choose file. This is our video. Max file that is permissible here is of 100 MB, and our size is of at least I think 1 or 2 MB. So this yes, it is of 314 KB. Now just check whether we have uploaded the same video or not. Yes, our video was the same. Now here you have a toolbar wherein you can use to cut video if you want delete the unwanted part on the video, if you want to speed up the process, and so even you can crop the video, as is in this case. We will be cropping our video. I think this much portion is sufficient for us. So we will be cropping this much portion and set crop video. Even you can make use of the YouTube videos if you want to crop video and explain only that much portion as an GIF in your PPT. But make sure it is not copy protected, or it is not violating any of the rules or laws of YouTube. Now this is our cropped video, and you can see here You can now convert this video into GIF by clicking here. This will be getting converted into a GIF. Convert to GIF. Yes, it's got converted. Now you can save this. It will be saved into your download folder. Yes, this is it. We will just check what is the difference between the video that we have created and inserted on the PPT, and what is the difference between the GIF that we have got. In this case, it might be stored in this download folder. Yes, this is it. See, here we have added the GIF. Now, if you run this as a PowerPoint show, it will appear. So this is the GIF, and you can see the square beneath it or as a background. Accordingly, you can choose the background of your slide as well. So this can be used a number of times, and it becomes portable, and this is your asset now. So you can use anywhere you want. So this was about the demo of converting the GIF into GIF. Now we'll come back to our yes. So these were the things what I wanted to explain. Yes, of course, animation have certain limitations, like it is time consuming, especially for beginners. If you are new to PowerPoint, or if you are new to animation, if you will definitely require a week or two to be trained into it. But compared to other languages, this I think is a very short and quick time. Then it is a bit slightly complicated initially. Initially, you might feel that this is getting irritated because during the arrangement of sequence and so. But believe me, it is not as complicated as any other languages, and it requires a detailed stepwise plan, which a farmer teacher definitely has. Now, what are the advantages of this? Yes, it is 100% offline and free because we are using PowerPoint. Then it helps us in storage, ease of storage. You can store it in various formats like video, PowerPoint, or PowerPoint show, or GIF, anything. Then you can modify the same animation n number of times. That means right to left, left to right, or wipe up, wipe down, anything, any kind of modifications you can do. Even you can change your voice, or delete the earlier voice on the slide and give a new voiceover to it. And this is the best tool for audio visual preparation. As Dr. Dias sir has explained, that you need to share in your own videos, and this is the need of the hour, wherein everybody is looking at YouTube. Then there is a need for a teacher to make his presentations into videos and upload it. Yes, this avoids plagiarism. Since this is your own creativeness, it totally avoids the plagiarism or copy pasting from YouTube or other sources or slide shares and all. Then it can be converted to extremely small files, which is in KBs. It can be convertible into videos and GIFs. This is the best tool for last minute revision, not only for the students, but for teachers as well, because it is a long gap of 1 year once you take a lecture, and the next lecture is generally after 1 year or so. So in last minute revision also, you can deliver the lecture very efficiently. It is totally environment friendly. You are not using any kind of chemicals or any extra kind of gases or electricity or so. So compared to other modes, this kind of animation, I feel, is the best tool. And as Dr. Dias sir has said, similarly, I would like to repeat his words, like even our smartphones, they are getting outdated within a month or two, or at the max 6 months they remain, and thereafter the new versions come. Similarly, people must follow suit. Lifelong learning has no longer been a luxury, but it is the need of the hour. This is what I would like to talk about animations. Thank you guys for your patiently listening. The session is now open for question answers. If at all anybody has any questions, let me know. I will just go through the chat box. First of all, I will make post to
brain stimulant. तर तुम्हाला आता त्याच्यात काहीच भेटणार नाही. आधीच तर गेलेत माझे एवढे मोठे पैसे.
Hello, ma'am. You are the host now.
Thank you, sir, for this informative talk. Now the session is open for question answer. Sir, I have some questions from chat box. Should I ask some questions?
Okay. Yes. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Sir, can you suggest any free software to make the animated videos? Sir,
This PowerPoint, I have used PowerPoint. So I feel this is the best software to use it. Other softwares are there, but the initial and few of the functions are free, of course. Thereafter, they charge heavy prices for them. So I have not used so far, but the PowerPoint I felt is the best one. Okay. You can just Google it to see what are the best softwares. I am not aware about it.
Okay. So second question, can you suggest any YouTube channel to learn about the animation techniques? Any YouTube
Yes,
channel?
I have been following, yes, there is one very good presenter, I think, Presentation Process. Presentation Process is a YouTube channel wherein you can get loads and loads of information related to PowerPoint presentation. And few of the videos are there which talk upon this animation. But you can follow that. It is very best one to refer.
Okay, thank you, sir. So understanding the content of subject is the most essential thing. Animation techniques are one way to provide an interesting way of learning for students. Sir has explained in a very simple manner the techniques of animation for effective teaching. Sir has briefly explained chromatographic techniques, extraction techniques, and morphology and microscopy of fruit drug by using simple PowerPoint animation. Definitely, this session helped all faculty to make their videos with some animation. Thank you once again, sir, for this informative session. Now, I request Dr. Bhushan Pimple, sir, to accept virtual bouquet and certificate on behalf of the organizing team of Progressive Education Society's Modern College of Pharmacy, Nigdi, Pune, as a token of appreciation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. P.D. Chaudhary, sir, and Dr. Vittal Chopade, sir, for providing an opportunity for me to explain this kind of thing at this large level. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. One important announcement